Welcome to another episode of the Final Word Podcast. I'm Steve Beach.
And I'm Brian Mayer. Hello.
And today we have someone special here with us today, Brian.
Me?
Well, you're always here.
Oh.
But if you remember from side 1, what did Dr. Earl Goldsmith recommend that we do with side 2?
Sex diagrams.
The other thing he mentioned.
Oh,
with side 2, you should do what?
Oh, you should listen to it with your child.
Yes, so I brought Austin.
Hey.
Oh, there he is.
So,
Hi, Austin.
He's here listening.
I didn't see you there, right next to me.
Hey, Brian.
So he's here with us today as we listen to side 2.
Yes.
And he's going to enjoy this very much, I'm sure.
Yep. We're both going to try to maintain eye contact with him throughout this.
Okay, then.
Okay, so side 2 is the side that you listen to with your child. A little bit of the intro for this that's written on the back of the sleeve. It's going to prepare them for additional questions that they will develop during the course of the record. That's why they want you to listen with your parent. Have the child listen all the way through, Austin.
All the way through.
And then when you encourage free discussion, have the child listen a second time, and then you can stop the record at any time to ask all of the questions.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any questions today, Brian.
Aw. All right.
I think it's terrific that we can have this chat together, young men.
Oh, he's
Next
already
few
talking
minutes
to
should
you.
prove very helpful as we think about you and the people around you. I hope we can answer some questions. However, I'm just as interested in raising questions in your mind so that you'll seek the right answers from proper sources elsewhere. I've already
Google,
talked to your
the
parents.
internet.
They want to
High
help
school
you,
gym
I'm
locker
sure,
room.
and together we are anxious to discuss some very important matters. Perhaps I should tell you that our subject is not as mysterious as it may seem. Boys
women
have been
aren't
growing up
mysterious
and
at all.
becoming
Nope.
men for as
Nor
long
is
as we
sex.
can
Sex
remember.
isn't difficult to figure
Men
out.
become
No, it
fathers
isn't.
just as the girls become women, who in turn become mothers. It's that simple.
No, it isn't.
When boys
No,
come to see
not
me,
at
one of
all.
the first questions I ask is, do you know why you're here?
Nope.
Some boys come because their parents do not understand their behavior.
I think he's here because
Sometimes
you
a
made him.
visit has to do
I
with poor
did.
school
I did.
grades. Often a boy's attitude causes concern. The reason I brought this to your attention, our little
because your
get-together
attitude
has
is
to do
awful.
with a very special subject. Mother and Dad might have a high-sounding name
Mommy
for
and
it.
Daddy will
Let us call it What a Boy Should Know About Life and Love.
Or
Now
how
then, what
not
may
to
we
become a
expect
father
to
at age
accomplish
13.
together? First, we shall be sharing information about you. Things that
You
deal with you
personally,
now
Austin.
and as you grow up to be a man. Second, we are going to look at feelings you experience. Some may help and some of these feelings may hinder. The helping experiences we want to grow, while the experiences that don't help, we want to stay low.
Like
I hope
anxiety.
you're ready for us to name some very important parts of your body, explain where you came from as a baby, and understand what are some of the differences between
taking
boys
notes,
and
Austin?
girls.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you were younger, you may have asked questions such as, where do the hospitals get the babies they give to people?
Manufacturing.
Or what does being
primarily.
born mean?
Amazon.
Why do people have to go to the
eBay.
hospital when they have babies? Could I have a baby? Well, maybe you didn't
How
ask
much
your
are
question
babies?
in these exact words.
Can I
but
order
you
babies
did
online?
wonder. And every
What is
time
the
you
black
thought
market?
about babies and life, you were wanting to learn. And every time you asked a question about these things, you were really learning. Even when you didn't get an
Not
answer,
so sure.
you were learning. Perhaps this taught you not to ask again, or you may have thought your question
Was
was
stupid.
not nice. Have you ever wondered why girls are so different? Or what the world would be like if we were all boys and men? You may be thinking, boy,
Like
that
the
would be
band?
great.
No, it
As
wouldn't.
fine as that might seem, son, we have to face the fact that there are girls and women. They are here to stay, and we're going to have to get along with them.
Wow.
First of all, God
He's
made
a
us
true
as we
romantic,
are,
isn't he?
that shade
made us to
bordering
be
on
men and
eclipse.
Yes.
so that we
Oh,
might have
boy.
a special way to express our love for each other
This
and be
guy's
able
wife,
to have
man.
children.
Like,
Now, it's true that animals
She's truly
have babies,
unhappy.
but they aren't able to love as we can. So you see, one of these days, you'll
That's
grow
why
up to be a
animals
man.
eat their young.
Yeah.
And there are many exciting things that a man can
That and the
do
meat's more tender.
as a husband and a father. Sometimes we talk about certain parts of our bodies. When we discuss eating, we think of the mouth, throat, and stomach. And these are easy
I
words
think,
to
do you think
remember.
of your throat when you
When
eat?
it comes to
Every
talking about
time.
having babies and becoming a father, two kinds of words are sometimes used. The words I'm going to use are the proper ones.
Here
The
we go.
important parts of your body as a boy are not all seen on the outside. Here is a list of some of the important words used to describe these important parts. Penis,
Yep.
testicles,
Uh-huh.
Yep.
urethra,
Um,
semen,
Semen.
Hold up.
seminal vesicle, and duct.
He had
But
me
what do these organs
at
do?
testicles.
Your body is like a manufacturing
I'm out.
plant. In producing
But wait,
materials,
you gotta-
there are substances
You have
that
to
are
listen to
waste
the whole
products,
thing.
while others
Semen?
are useful.
Well,
The
Doesn't he
grown-up
wanna
male
talk about
body
We
is
tried,
capable
Brian.
of producing sperm cells in the testicles, and when these cells travel from the testicles to the penis, they mix with a fluid called semen. When
No,
a father
it's
and mother
not
mate,
no, they
semen.
don't.
this seminal fluid carries thousands
Yeah,
of sperm
seminal is
cells
fine. I
from
don't
the
mind
father's
seminal.
body into
Semen?
the mother's body. If everything happens according to nature, a male sperm cell unites with a female ovum or egg, and a baby begins to grow inside the mother. 9 months later, a baby is born.
ta-da!
You already know how
It's that
exciting
simple.
It's that simple.
And we have all the rest of the record now. So
Remember I said the
I'm going to
body
talk
was like
about
a
the Boston Red
manufacturing
Sox.
Right.
The same tube or urethra that carries the life-producing sperm also expels the urine or fluid waste products.
I like
out
how
of
the
bladder.
life-producing
Make certain
sperm
you understand
comes
the
out of the
difference
same
between
place
the origin and
as the
purpose
waste.
of each of these fluids.
Right.
They
There
should
might be a
not be
deeper
confused with
meaning
each
there,
other
but I'm not sure.
just
I don't think
because
so.
they come
Okay.
out of the penis. You may have seen a puppy or a kitten grow into a full-sized dog or
Why is he
cat.
talking about dogs all of
Change
a
was
sudden?
very
I
gradual.
thought we were talking about
In the
sex.
same way,
I'm just glad he's
boys
not like
slowly
being mean
changed
to
into
women
men.
anymore.
Right.
And as you grow up, you can see certain things happening to you.
We
and
all
feel
acknowledge
things
that
happening.
women are inherently
However, time
awful,
doesn't permit me to
and
share
you just
everything
have
you
to
will
tolerate
experience.
their existence
First,
because it's
you will notice
illegal to
hairs
kill
starting to
them.
grow under your arms
Like,
and
chill
around
out,
your
Dr.
private
Goldsmith.
parts.
And later
Your
you'll
penis
have
and
air in your
testicles will
ear.
also grow larger. Remember,
They'll
every
grow
boy does
larger
not develop
every
at the same
year.
time or exactly in the same way.
I'm so glad we have a
You begin
record
to
to tell us
develop
this.
into a man.
Right.
The body starts to make the semen we've been talking about.
Yep. And then
There
it
are
just,
times
Like
when
a factory.
this fluid
Yep.
will appear automatically.
24 hours a day.
When
just
this
all
happens during
teenagers
the
are.
night,
Just
it may be referred to as a wet dream. The proper term is seminal emission. One of the most important questions a boy like you can ask is,
Can I start doing my own laundry when that happens?
yeah. The
course,
answer is
the answer
yes,
is
Steve.
yes.
Absolutely.
Please.
and you
Please
must
do.
understand that every baby has to have a father and a mother. One of the reasons why a child
He's a
needs
genius.
parents is
Yeah, he
because
is.
God wanted him to be loved. And so when you get older, you'll get married because you are in love. And because of that love, you'll be able to be a father.
That's
In
not
the
the way that
meantime-
works.
No.
What am I to do with these feelings about sex, you may ask?
Just ignore
First
them.
of all, you are not
Until
to
you're
act
married.
as if these feelings are not real.
Push them down
You should
hard.
be able to freely discuss these feelings with your parents.
Do you know how
Secondly,
volcanoes
these
work?
feelings should be as good as they can be. It is
Lots of
when
pressure.
normal sex feelings are considered bad that we start thinking wrong things.
Sex feelings.
Third,
I think they
try
were
to
a band.
understand what these feelings are. In other words, what is really happening inside of me as I grow up. Perhaps this is not easy for you to understand yet, but a person is helped to get a sense of what
I'm an
he
adult and I
himself
still don't
is
understand what he's
and
saying.
what he
I know.
feels
I know.
his
This
body
guy's killing
is.
me.
Our first responsibility, then, is to God as Creator. To use our
Creator.
bodies
That's a
in the way
superhero,
He
isn't it?
intended
My
cannot
Creator.
I think it's a transformer.
all the beautiful things in the
Might
world
be.
have been
He was
given
an
to us
Autobot.
to enjoy. You have been placed in this world to be part of this enjoyment. You see, son, your life
You can
has been
hear the
given to
enjoyment
you
in
as
his
a
voice,
sacred
can't you?
trust,
Yes.
and you're held responsible for it. This also means that you should take care of
Sexual
your body.
intercourse is very
Remember we discussed the
pleasurable.
reason God gave you parents?
You may
One
even
reason was
smile,
that you might have someone to love you.
albeit for
Out
only
of
a
that
second.
reason, because you are loved, they take care of you. Now then, what do
Not
mother and
because
dad have
of
a right
legal
to ask of you?
obligation.
Anything
to
they
them.
want.
That's called respect. You
That's
should
called
love them,
parents.
and
We can
out of
ask
this
anything
love
we
should
want.
come
Yep.
A desire to obey. The first commandment with promise says, honor thy father and mother. Now, if all this sounds hard to do, this
It
third
does.
responsibility
It does.
will help you with the others. I often have boys come in to see me in my office.
That's
During
weird.
one of
Alone.
these counseling sessions, a boy is asked, how do you see yourself?
Usually
What
in a
kind of a boy
mirror.
are you?
Yes.
What you think about yourself, you see, is very important. If you see yourself as a bad person, you'll want to do bad things. If you see yourself as a good person, you'll have a desire to do good things. I'm always glad when a boy looks in the full-length mirror and says, That's the best kid I've seen all day.
Gee
But
willikers,
suppose you
mister.
feel as if you've done
Yeah.
something wrong.
They're not vain at
Discuss
all.
this with
No.
your parents if you are able.
My,
They should be able to help you
look
think
at
through your
that.
problem. Although we've talked about love and mating, it is important to know
Mating.
how you were born.
Because we're
You start
animals.
with a husband and wife, that's your father and mother. Because they love each other and are married, they can express their love for each other in a very special way. This is called mating.
Mating.
Before you were born, your father provided a cell. We called it a male sperm cell. And your mother produced an ovum or female egg cell. When these two cells mated, you started to grow. Perhaps your parents could show you some pictures
Of the event
how a baby
and scar
grows.
you for life.
Carried you inside of her. The lower stomach where she carried you.
Lower stomach?
During the time before you
Lower
were born,
stomach. Yeah.
Didn't women
you
have
visited
multiple
the
stomachs like a
doctor
cow?
many times.
Oh,
Each
boy, that's
visit,
called
mother
foreshadowing,
made
Stephen.
during
I'm
her
really glad
pregnancy.
you mentioned that.
That's what those 9 months are called. At each visit, the doctor told her how to take care of you. And when it came close to the time for your arrival, special
Your
care
mother
was
called
taken
those
to
9
look
months
after
interminable.
you and
Yes.
mother. The doctor explained that mother would feel you moving inside her, and also said to be watching for the feelings that would show you were soon to be born.
And then they
These
watched the
feelings
movie
came,
Alien.
and Dad
Yes.
rushed mother to the hospital. The doctor was there, and the nurses, and after a while,
Your
the
Aunt
nurse
Mildred
came out
was
to
there.
the hospital room where your dad
The
was waiting and
neighbors.
said, "It's a boy."
They were ready to
Well,
steal the
God
baby and
intended that
explain
this
to
event
their
and all
children
that happens
how you
along with
came
it
to be.
should be exciting.
Because they had
And
to
it
borrow
will
it
be
for
for
side
you
one.
too.
Uh-huh.
When you fall in love, get married, and become a father. But you must follow the rules. You realize, of course, that there are rules for playing baseball, basketball, football.
Another
and
weird
hockey.
analogy for
Break
sex.
the
I know,
rules,
yeah.
and you are disqualified.
So I guess you can only
Your
make 3
team may
mistakes
lose, or
in
perhaps
life
you
and then
will
you're
not be
out.
allowed to
Well,
play the game
I
again.
wasn't going to mention this, but
Game
yeah,
of life
one
and
time
love
I had
is
a guy throw a
serious,
yellow
too.
flag at me,
Life
and I
should be
didn't know where it
serious
came from
because God made
it was
so
just
that we
Laura
can
and I.
live
I don't
in
know.
3 connected ways.
There
The
are
part of your
rules.
life that you live with your body is called physical. The part of your life you live with your mind is called emotional or mental. The remaining part
He's
is
a
the
little mental.
religious or
He's a
spiritual
lot
part
mental.
of you.
And
Each
Olivia
of these
Newton-John
parts
is
must
physical.
be taken care
Yes.
of. You have to feed your body every day with food. You feed your mind with the things you see, hear, and experience. It is also necessary to take
This
care of
record
your
is like feeding
spiritual
my mind
appetite
poison.
too. When you want to grow up to be a good person, this means you have accepted a good goal for all 3 parts of your life. And whether you reach this goal depends on how you use your body, mind, and spirit. Certainly you're old enough to know that some people are not very happy. One way for you to be happy
Including
now is to
him.
realize that you can and will
Perhaps
reach
you've talked to
good
my
goals
wife.
in your life when you grow up. One day you will have to make
She
up
made
your
a
mind
promise to our
concerning your
Creator.
position in life.
And she
This
regrets
involves a
it.
school goal, and the subjects you learn will help to carry you towards success. You will also face a decision about your church or religious life. This has to do with your spiritual success.
And you'll tell
How
them
you
about
think
your
about
sexual
yourself,
life.
Your family,
And they will
neighbors,
send
and
you
friends
somewhere
will enable
else.
you to decide upon the goals which will help you to grow into a fine man. Now, dreams for the future may only come true when you accept limits. Everyone knows you only get 3 strikes or 4 balls in a game of baseball. Suppose
You're
you were
already
playing with
halfway
someone
there,
who
Steve.
wanted an extra strike.
The
or
same
ball.
applies to life.
Wouldn't be much
And
fun
then you're
playing,
done.
would it?
Yep.
The rules for baseball have already been written, and so have the rules
They cannot
for
be
life.
changed, Steve.
This is
Ever.
a place to remind
Yep.
you then
They're etched in
that there is a
stone.
difference between
Yep.
striking out.
So let's
and
get rid of
being
that
put out of the
designated
game.
hitter thing that's happening.
We've said something about feeding the body, but if you stuff yourself with food, any kind of food, you'll get sick. If you eat only one kind of food,
Like
you
ice
will not
cream.
get all the vitamins of a well-balanced diet. Son, do you see what I'm driving at? There
No.
are rules for everything.
I don't at all.
When I feed my mind only with sex, then my life becomes unbalanced. If you are more interested in sex than a person your age ought to be, you can become mentally and sometimes
How does he
even
know?
physically sick. But what if I don't want to accept
he's
limits,
not
as you call
sending
them?
out
What can you, might
surveys saying,
answer?
how often do you think about
Perhaps I
sex,
could
sir?
give you another illustration. Your father has an automobile. If he drives
Or a
as
bicycle.
fast as a new car can go, it might be able to go 100 miles per hour or even more. On the dash of late model cars, it reads 120 miles an hour. Let's say the car can go that speed. Your father starts to
Okay.
drive down your street when
The car
suddenly
is
comes
fast,
to a
Steve.
sign that says, stop. On another street, a sign says, slow down, or curve, or drive carefully. Now here's the chance we've been waiting for. Your
Okay.
father is out on one of the new interstate highways. But
Right.
even here, he has to drive by the rules. 70 miles an hour on the open road, 25 to 45 miles on the ramps getting on or off the highway. Should
Just
your
like sex.
father refuse
I
to
see it
accept the
now.
rules for driving,
25,
his
70.
license will
That
be
makes
taken
sense.
away,
Yeah.
and with it, his freedom to drive an automobile. It is not sufficient to know about life and love and sex.
Yeah.
You must also know what to do with what you know.
Sometimes sex is
Here
fast.
then is an
and
opportunity
sometimes
to
it's
practice what I've
slow.
been telling you. The
Sometimes
proper
there's an
names of the
on-ramp,
sexual
sometimes
parts
there's an
of the
off-ramp.
female body
Yeah.
are
I
vagina,
see it
uterus,
now. I
cervix,
take back everything I've said
fallopian
about
tube, and
Dr.
ovary.
Goldsmith.
The female sex organs are unlike the male sexual organs in that they are all inside the body. Again, a simple picture that your parents can provide will
What?
help you to understand what we are
What
considering.
simple picture is he going to come up with?
Nearly everyone can picture the shape of a cow's head.
A
and
what?
Look at it from the front.
A cow's head?
This is the shape of
Cow's
the uterus.
head.
The ears of the cow are in the same place as the fallopian tubes. Of
What?
course, I must say that the uterus is much smaller than a cow's
Oh,
head.
boy.
At
You
the
all
tip of
can't
each
see my
ear
face,
or
but my
fallopian
eyeballs are
tube,
so
there is
wide.
an ovary in which the female egg cells are stored.
They are
Once a
stored
month,
in the cow's
one egg cell
nostrils.
leaves one of the ovaries and
Where does
descends
the
into
penis
one
go in
of
this
the fallopian
scenario?
tubes,
I don't
where a
know.
male sperm cell and female egg cell meet.
If
This
I
is
want to
called
flirt with my wife,
fertilization.
gonna be like, I'm gonna
It takes
tickle your
only
cow
one
head
sperm
parts?
cell, the
I
fertilized
guess.
egg cell,
What is?
and the fertilized
Cow's
egg
head.
cell continues down into the uterus, where it fastens itself to the wall.
Fastens
of the uterus.
itself and holds
grows
on
into
for
a baby.
dear life.
A
Oh
picture or
boy,
sketch of these parts will help to make
Steve, I
this
gotta be
clear.
honest. This part really moves
When the baby is
me.
ready to be born, it passes out at the bottom of the uterus through the
Passes
opening
out,
called
that's
the
what I do
cervix
afterwards.
into the vagina. The baby comes out through the vagina into the world, and this process is
through
known as
the vagina
birth
into
being
the
born.
world.
When two egg cells are
Just
fertilized
from
by
one
two sperm
small
cells,
area to
then unlike
everything.
twins are born.
You're in the
Twins
womb
that
and
look
boom,
alike
you're in the
from
room.
a single egg and sperm cell that forms into two parts exactly alike. Now you know the real reason why girls are to be treated differently than boys.
Because
At
they're
the moment of
different.
birth,
Yeah.
Each girl has all
Because
the
they're
organs
not
with which
boys.
to become a mother. But you might say that father business is a long way off. Too far in the future. to
Especially
even
since
think
I
about,
keep leaving.
And I guess you're right. But the future is always taken care of by today. Be a proper person today, every day, and when you grow up, you'll be the right kind of a man.
A proper person.
Meanwhile, back to the rules again. In a race,
Back to the
no
rules,
one
Mr.
ever won
Killjoy
without
here.
believing he could win and having a real desire to be a winner. As your parents believe in you, they will trust you. While
No,
they cannot see
shouldn't.
everything you do,
You should never trust
they do their
teenage
best
boys.
to help you with the rules. Perhaps the two most important things your mother and father can offer is, first, to be an
Threats.
example by following adult rules.
Taking away your smartphone.
Secondly, to be available whenever you have a question about your own feelings and behavior. What I'm talking about is really family education. where
Really
each member
boring.
of the home knows his part in the game of life, believes in himself and other members of his
Greetings,
family,
son. Do you
and
know about
accepts the
your
guidelines
creator?
laid down by the family for himself. Our talk today would be incomplete without a section on how to take care of
He
certain
said,
problems.
Shun.
Sometimes it
I'm glad
seems
he's
as if
specific.
growing up is
Yeah.
one long
Certain
continual
problems.
problem.
Mm-hmm.
And
In
you're
air
right
quotes,
again.
I guess.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, life is a succession of problems. But that's not so bad.
In other words,
Much like
life's.
I realize
In other
that
words,
every
life
one of us
sucks.
is
Right.
capable
A
of
succession
facing
of
our
problems, like
and with
marriage.
help from others, can certainly find the answers. Take the problem of girls.
The problem of girls. I feel so
Girls
bad
don't
for
play
his
rough
wife.
games. They're not as noisy, and besides, they often spoil the fun that boys are enjoying.
He just said it. They often
You
spoil
sense
the
this
fun.
Now, you should know that your feeling toward girls will change. Gradually,
Not with attitude
you'll
like
become
that.
interested in how girls look, what they do, and what they say. Instead of being only with boys,
You'll
will
be
discover
cajoled into
suddenly
dates.
the
They will
game
use
includes
deceptive
girls.
means to
Then
trap
you
you.
start thinking about one girl. It may not
Watch out,
always be
Johnny.
the same
She's
one.
the devil.
Yeah.
And finally, something will tell you that a very special girl should be your girl, and she will be
My girl.
your bride. These thoughts cover many years, but this is the story of the average boy's life.
No,
What should my
I hope
attitude
not.
be toward girls now, you may ask? I have a translation here with me that says...
The translation,
treat a
it's in
girl
Greek.
as you would
No
want
one
her
will
to
understand.
treat you. This means you should treat the opposite sex with respect. And this holds true when you get older.
Treat your own
It will
gender
have a
with
very
terrible,
special
terrible
meaning
callousness.
when you're old enough to have physical contact with
Don't
the
treat all
opposite
people
sex.
with respect.
But even this skin-to-skin effect will not give you
Skin
the
to skin
right
effect. That sounds like a
to act
disease.
any way you please.
It does, but
Of course, I don't expect you'll understand everything that I'm
Skin to
saying
skin.
today. Later, you will find these suggestions worth their weight in gold. Most important for today, respect the
Coming from
opposite
him, I
sex
doubt
no
it.
matter
Does-
what age that
we
person
might
might
classify
be.
this as
Treat her
educational, but
as
it's
you
certainly
want to be
not
treated.
romantic.
No, it
In other
isn't.
words, keep your hands off the girls.
Keep your hands to
While
yourself.
we've been talking about
Yeah, the
game
Georgia
of life,
satellite said that
this
too.
matter
so
of
we're-
living
we're
and
good.
behaving
Yes.
is not a game. It's really life. And this is a sacred
It's
trust
really life.
Yeah, it's
given
not
to
baseball.
you
It's
by
not
God.
football.
It's not driving a car on the interstate.
Nope, this is real life now.
It's not a cow's head.
We're for realsies on this.
And regardless of the behavior of others, this is your responsibility toward all members of the opposite sex.
And
At
your
the beginning of our session today, we talked about the body, the soul, and the spirit. Needless to say, you should take care of all three. The body should be kept clean. Regular habits that include the bathtub and
He
soap
does know
will take
teenage
care of
boys.
this.
Yes, he does.
Curiosity concerning your body and its functions are normal as long as that curiosity doesn't lead to harm. When you have questions, as already suggested, ask your parents. If you don't get a satisfactory answer, ask them again.
I demand an answer.
Satisfied, go to an adult that you respect. Your minister should be able to help you here.
Or some random guy
But
walking in
what
front of
about
your
your
house.
mind? Concentrate on a
Find the
single
hobo.
subject, any subject.
Ask him.
He will have all
Make
the
life
answers.
to be unbalanced. This is certainly true if you think constantly about sex. Good reading material, good conversations, and good thoughts make for a proper outlook on life. To think about sexual things is not dirty unless you make them so. If you have the problem of
Or
improper
boring,
thoughts,
like he's made
they can
them.
be handled in part again by asking questions and also by giving your attention to something wholesome. This will direct your mind towards something else.
Like a dairy.
Remember, as
Or
a
a
boy
library.
thinketh, so is he. When
Perhaps
you
could
think
learn
straight,
about the history of
you'll
concrete.
go and grow straight. Your parents are the most important
Keep your
people
mind
in your
off those
life
filthy,
until you have a
filthy
home of your own.
girls.
Remember, God intended every boy to have a father and a mother to take care of him. They are much wiser and more
Orphans are not
experienced
allowed
than you
to
are.
listen to this
Take
record.
their advice.
Exactly.
They're thinking of what's best for you. When they lay down rules and regulations, they do this because they love you and want to do what's best for you.
When they lay down wood,
Share your
they
ideas
love you
and
too.
feelings with
And
Dad
when they
and
lay
Mother.
down dope beats,
In return,
they're
you can
just trying
expect
to make
understanding,
music.
acceptance, and love, which simply means you'll really enjoy life. Well,
Really
son, we've
enjoy
covered a lot of material
life.
together.
Man, you can just
My final
hear
word
the
is
joy
Hear
on
the
the
excitement.
subject of
dripping
love.
off of that.
Real love is putting the other person's needs first. If you
Yes.
love your pet, you don't starve him.
You put his
You
needs
feed
first before
him. If
you.
you love
don't
yourself,
starve
you
your
take
pet?
care of yourself.
It's a good
This
thing we're
holds
dealing with
true
psychopaths.
for every
here.
member of your
Right.
family. Perhaps you're not old enough to understand this fully yet.
I still
Even
don't
people
understand
outside
eating
your
pets?
family need love and understanding.
Oh, he's talking about sex
The
again.
kind of love they wish to see is the kind of love you've been learning since you were born. When you were very small, you showed your love as only a baby can. In your
Screaming,
preteen years, you will love in
incessantly,
still a different way.
all the time.
This
For no
continually
reason
changes
whatsoever.
until
You
are
are a black
grown
hole
man.
of need.
Maybe you
That's
know
how
a
you
boy
show
who wants
love.
to hurt, who says biting things, and acts as if he hates
Acts.
everyone. That boy, earlier in life, got off the track. He missed the step from taking to giving, from accepting love to giving love,
And fell off the
from
track
biting to
completely.
kissing. This illustrates that real love is not getting but giving, and giving always makes you think of someone else. Unselfish love is the desire to give, to share, to do something for others.
Okay.
I trust in the years to come, you'll remember the things we discussed together on the subject of life and love.
Yes,
May
this
God
record will be
bless
on
you
my
as you
mind for the
discover
rest
that
of
both
my
life and
life.
love
You will
are
bury
very
these deep in your
satisfying.
subconscious as a trauma echo.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was painful.
Dr. Goldsmith, man, he really, we've talked about this, but I feel awful for whichever female relatives he had, because he has a mission here. He wants to do good,
Yes.
but there's not a lot of sex as an expression of affection and like a culmination of the way that God has designed us to interact with each other. He says, like, girls just have to be tolerated.
Right. It's just like, I think I said this on side one. I feel like I'm putting together an engine.
Yeah.
Looking at a manual.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no romance about it. There's no, hey, your wife enjoys maybe candles and fresh scents. Yeah. This is how it works.
Right.
Put tab A into slot B.
Yeah.
It's very mechanical.
Yeah. But that's all it does. It just,
yes.
Yeah, like, it doesn't get the engine on the road.
No, it doesn't. It just builds the engine.
Yeah.
Nice car. Good job, son.
Right.
Now, good luck.
Yep. Bye.
Right.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Well, thank you again for joining us for another episode. So, if you want to email us with any comments, suggestions, or anything, we would love to hear from you. You can contact us at vinylword22@gmail.com.